Nothing for certain either way, but for sure it'll be a game time decision at best.
Has he been able to practice at all this week?
No. Whatever he's done some just little individual stuff, a little bit on his own. So we'll just have to see. We got today, tomorrow, play Saturday. So, and it's literally, this is not coach's talk. It's literally game time decision. And, that's being probably kind with that statement.
So last week you said the team would appreciate having a week off, a couple of days off. How well rested is the team feeling? How excited are you guys to Murfreesboro this weekend?
Well, Muhammad, there's no question the rest physically and mentally. I mean, lots of times, a lot of teams need it during the season. This team probably as much as any I've had based on when our bye week came. Number one, basically the last week. Number two, based on the numbers we were playing going into that. So, and number three, coming out of that stretch where a makeup game got thrown in to make it those 5 games in 10 days. So it was needed, immensely by everybody. Our guys will, they'll be excited, and we've been in a good place, and like you see, we've got pretty good rhythm, pretty good chemistry, what we're doing. Guys feel good about, each other and how they're playing. So we just got to go on the road to a really good Middle Tennessee team. A team that's they played tonight. I think it will be, if they win tonight, I think they've won 12 out of their last 13 games. Their only loss was on the road at UAB. I think they've won 7 in a row tonight. If they beat Marshall, it could be 8 in a row and 12 out of 13 games. I know since they left here, including our game, I think it's been 8 games. I know they're shooting 45% from three-point line as a team. That's a pretty good stat. And again, they're undefeated at home. I think they're 15-0 at home. No one's beating them there. And they're playing really well, really well. Coach has done a really good job with his team, and they're playing really well.
One thing Kim Justice said is that MTSU runs a really chaotic offense. So as chaotic as they are, how calm will you guys be facing a crazy offense that they were in when they were here back 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, Muhammad, I think this, he says chaotic. I don't think he meant making us calm or relaxed, if that makes sense. I think he meant, I'm not putting words in his mouth, they run a spread offense, a lot of movement, 5 guy away from the basket, and I guess it could get chaotic if you don't guard it very well. I think the biggest thing is they run a spread offense, and they bring that 5 guy away from the basket, JMR away from the basket. And they've got multiple guys that can dribble it and pass it and shoot it. It's very obvious. Jefferson he's been the one guy that's been terrific. Sims has played well, and probably Lawrence is the next guy. There's 3 guys made 20-plus threes. Jefferson's made 40-something. We're talking about in conference play now. So they got good depth, playing about 9 guys, double-digit minutes, and then playing with a lot of confidence. Again, they're one of the few teams that's gone into Florida Atlantic that could win at that place. And they found a way to do it and did it kind of from start to finish. It wasn't one of those last minute, hit a three-pointer. They kind of separated the game and kept it separated for most of the way, and that's not easy to do, so they're playing really well.
Coach, just looking at this last matchup against Middle Tennessee, it seemed like Josh Jefferson was, hitting a lot, in the second half from beyond the arc. You were a different team back then, just defensively, or you looked like a different team back then defensively. Just looking at how you guys have been playing recently, how tough of a challenge is it going to be to, guard him?
Well, that's a challenge. No matter if we are playing better, it's a challenge. If I remember the last game against us, he was 7 for 9. Their team was 16 for 31. 15 or 16 for 31. Who has that stat? 15, 16 for 31. Whatever it was, it was a really good percentage. And he was 7 for 9. And he really hadn't stopped playing that well. He's been pretty consistent most nights. But to answer your question, we're in a different place now than we were then, too. We came out of that game, if I remember, that was after UEB game on Thursday night, played them Saturday afternoon. I thought that's the one game that, just we weren't as good as we had to beat Middle, physically or mentally. This time, we're on their home court. We got to be a lot better in both of those areas. And again, Jefferson can't go 7 for 9 and us have a chance to win on the road. Just can't happen.
It seemed like the last meeting with Middle Tennessee, you guys went small towards the end like that lineup. Wanted to go into it with Charlotte, but with Jerry is either uncertain what he's going to be able to give you. I guess is the way to put it. But
yeah.
How do you try to do that in a situation like that, or can you at all?
Yeah, no, you're on a good question and make a good point, one that we think about a lot. I mean, he's the one guy that allows us to do that. He's the one guy that can slide down, play 5, and defend the 5, and been pretty good at doing it, which then gives him a offensive advantage, and that's kind of what he had here against them when we decided to do that. And we were pretty good offensively until Cam fouled out, and we couldn't do it with the same efficiency rest that way. But that's going to probably be a game time decision. Like I said, there's no other guys we have that can slide down, play the 5 offensively, and still defend the 5s, but Jarius.
Coach, during the stretch, Davey's been averaging over 20 points. It seems like he's just taking a step up. Have you seen that in practice at all during this winter?
Not really. And when I say that, not really, I mean, I see the same thing September the 1st, October the 1st, November the 1st. Don't matter if he's scoring 20 points. Don't matter if he's scoring 2 points. If you're practicing or playing Louisville, that's the same with him. Now, what you're probably asking, is there another level of confidence probably coming with him? I'm sure inside there is. I don't know if he shows it emotionally or outgoingly, because he's the same. He's going to come to that practice the same every day. And again, that's a great question. I'm just telling you how he is, which is one of the greatest abilities a young man can have. But with your question, he's got to be at another level mentally, emotionally. It's got to be inside of him. He may not show it outwardly, but he's got to the way he's playing, which is a good thing when he don't show it. He's the same, because he is playing awful well in every category. And I'm going to keep saying this. We talk about his scoring points, making shots, and all that. One thing, he's always one of the best guys every night defending that basketball now. And you guys don't forget to write about that. I know you media guys, sometimes y'all get caught up making shots and making threes like everybody else and dunking the ball. One of his greatest things, y'all zero on him guarding that basketball some. How he has to fight that ball screen every night. And the amount of times he keeps his guy out of that paint. It's a great ability, and he's consistently good at it.
With Davion, like you said, he's just kind of the same all the time. It seems that way when we talk to him, with media, whether you guys win or lose.
Does he ever get excited with you guys?
No, that's what I was.
Can y'all ever get him excited? When you ask him that question today, did he come today?
No. What's he like, away from this.
He's a great kid. I say kid, great young man. Y'all have heard me talk about his mother.
Yeah.
He's raised the right way. The right way, he's had accountability in his life. He knows how to treat other people. He's a giver, not a taker. In the athletic world, you can't always say that. And I would think anybody he comes in contact with, they leave him feeling good about who he is, most time feeling good about who they are. He's not ever going to belittle anybody or have any prima donna in him. Some athletes may have that they're entitled to something. His upbringing has not entitled him to anything, and that's what makes him special. And that's why his game will continue to grow and grow and grow because of what he's made up of.
With all the high praises for Jamie, how much does that trickle down on the rest of the team and affect their performance and how the team just does overall his leadership?
Well, anytime you can have a point guard and your teammates feel that about him, feel like he's not a selfish guy, he's a team guy, that's a good feeling among teammates because all teams can't have that. A lot of teams have a point guard maybe wants to shoot it too much, or maybe his temperature goes up and down, or his mood goes up and down based on how he's playing. Teammates see that. And on the other side of the coin, our teammates see Davey. They know nothing changes him. They know he's going to give that ball up every time when there's a better shot than one he has. If he misses it, if he misses the pass, it's not because he did it on purpose. And our guys trust him with that. I can say that without even asking them that because I know how he is with them and how they perceive what he does out there without them saying it.
Coach, anything in particular that you can point out or say about this winning streak? Was there a moment that really stands out to you that really started this part? You guys just started to gel.
As I've said, sometimes winning streaks and losing streaks are all overrated a little bit too much. Our losing streak, 4 of them came with basically a lead under a minute to go. Didn't finish those games out. I think the biggest thing is when there is a losing streak, how do you handle it? I think that's the biggest thing you can take from what this team's done. Nobody likes losing. Players, coaches, fans, none of us like losing. But, it's how you believe in the course, where you're going, Is there things sometimes you have to tweak just to maybe try to start a little different kind of spark somewhere in your team sometimes during those days? Absolutely. Were you doing that offensively or were you doing that defensively? Sometimes you gotta create a spark within that thing to change it. And if you're going to ask maybe what a spark was from us a little bit, probably we went small a little bit. We left out here and went small. Probably that next game, Jamar got in foul trouble, and I played about 25 minutes small at Charlotte. But then the following game, I know the whole second half we were basically played that zone and we were big. So the one change has been we have played small some. That's probably been a little spark. It's been a little bit different. It's opened the lane up a little bit more for Davey. Made those three-point shooters a little bit harder to defend out there. But the biggest thing is our guys kept believing, didn't panic, stayed together, and that's not always easy to do. They deserve a lot of credit for that.
Coach, on the off chance that Jarius is unable to play, who are some guys that are going to take his place throughout that game?
Well, you've been watching this, so the bench has been not as deep as we'd like for it to be. But it's very obvious if Jarius can't go. The first guy that steps in the starting lineup we know is Josh. That's You ain't got to study hard to figure that out. You're not going to trick anybody with that move. Okay. After that, we know there's Zay Cozart. Got to be ready to step up and give us some minutes, and I know he'll play hard and he'll do that. Next guy over there hadn't played a lot lately. He's maybe Sherman. Got to give us some minutes, and the next guy, based on if Jarius can't go, maybe Butts. So those some, a couple of those guys hadn't played a lot lately. But that's where options are, and when you get an opportunity, you find a way to step up, and that's what happens. There's going to be some guys given more opportunities, and you get an opportunity to take advantage of it. So, but there's not a whole lot of different ways we're going to slice it up. Choices, you know what those choices are.
I know you just said Butts, he's been unavailable the last 2 games with that, but are you anticipating him to be available in case you need him?
No more today. We kind of read practice up a little bit more. He said it was on. We was off yesterday, Tuesday. He said he felt his ankle was. He said it was, but we didn't have a lot of stress on it on Tuesday. He said he's feeling a lot better. So I want to hope so. Want to hope so.